Hi, and welcome to the Feel Good Always podcast. I'm Becky Bradley, and this is real stories of love, connection, and remembering who we are. Welcome if you're new here. I'm really glad you're here, and thank you to all those people that have been following along on this journey. The Feel Good Always podcast is really about feeling it all and moving into this beautiful energy to feel good always. We move into these higher levels of consciousness. The podcast was also born out of getting direction from my daughter, Keira Bradley. She was 15 years old when she was in a fatal accident. And when that happened, I was able to connect to her in a very deep way, really seeing that separation is an illusion and her guiding me from the other side, along with a lot of other angels. So today I'm going to be sharing this message around being instead of doing. And this is just more messages, things that I get. I believe that this is happening out in the collective. A lot of people are getting this message and that we need to hear it over and over and over again. So this podcast, I'm really bringing this energy to you. We are in the midst of a great awakening in humanity, and this is how we do it. Isn't going to just be a snap of the fingers, but it is done, and we are the forerunners. So if you're listening to this podcast, I do believe you found me for a reason. You found this. We find everything. We get shown everything that we need to see. And we're the forerunners. And today I sit in this beautiful peace, inner peace and energy of connection. Today's episode is really just an invitation to slow down, to stop trying to arrive, to really just be in a society that really glorifies production. We can even do that with our spiritual practice. I've watched myself do it over the years, where I would feel like my spirituality was more of a checklist. And it was also an effort to not feel. And when I say that, what I mean is that I just thought if I meditate, this is years ago. This isn't currently after Keira transitions. I've definitely been in that feeling, there's no way out for me. But in that feeling, when we are willing to feel, instead of distract ourselves by doing, we move into openness and connection and really what we came here to do, which is feel. So in the past, if I would have feelings of sadness or anxiety, or like these, I would call them spiritual bottoms, when it would feel like out of nowhere, things just were not going well. I would think that maybe I didn't meditate enough. Maybe I didn't help enough people. Maybe I wasn't journaling enough. I had to find a reason, something that I did wrong, so that I could, control the outcome, so that this feeling didn't happen again. And it was really about 5 years ago that I recognized that pattern and was able to say, wait a second, I'm not doing anything wrong. I just have more to be processed, more to be seen, because these feelings were just messengers to show me something. And that my spirituality, all of the things that bring me inner peace, all of these practices, they're not something that is a checklist. This is something that we do so that we could find inner peace, but not on a checklist. And I have to check myself. I have to watch myself in this. And so I've really been reminded again and again. I can get a lot of energy and a lot of inspiration. That's why I share here on the podcast. I do a lot of writing. I have a lot of stuff coming through from higher beings to be shared with the world, so that we can all move into this higher level of consciousness. But I will be constantly reminded to come back into being, and that nothing is more important for any of us than taking care of ourselves and really just being. That we can't checklist our way into peace. It's just not the way that it works. And we just don't want our spiritual journey to become a checklist. Okay. We don't. So this being versus doing, it's coming into this presence, coming into the art of presence, an awareness of it, an awareness that we really just need to be. I really do understand that this energy that is coming through me that causes people to listen to this podcast and see signs. I can't tell you how many people message me and tell me that while they're listening, I might be saying something and they see it out in the world, what I'm talking about. If I'm talking about horses as sign, all of a sudden there's a horse, all these connections, because it is a frequency, it is an energy. However, our energy can transmit from anywhere. So I could literally sit in my yard and do this. I could transmit this to you by simply being, and it's really vacating. My daughter Keira, through her connection to me, she will spell out the word vacating, 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 and that vacating is old paradigms, getting rid of that thing, this continuous surrender for myself of thinking that, a podcast has to look a certain way, or everything that I do has to look a certain way, and I'm continuing to vacate old ideas, questioning everything. It really could just be me sitting outside, being, connecting with the earth, that I don't actually have to do anything to transmit this beautiful energy. So, but I do get called because I listen, I get called to share, and that's why I'm sharing today. And Keira has been talking about it's Keira and the angels. So I want to be clear that, even if you're listening to this and you have guides that help you, whether it's somebody on the other side, God, they will bring this information to you through me and through other avenues, not just me. And then you bring this information to other people. We're getting a lot of information at this right now. And so what they have been saying to me is feel, feed, talk, educate. So the being is the feeling, the just being here in the present moment, always coming back, not thinking what's coming in the future. Oh, are we going to have more peace later? I want to be here. So I want to be here in this moment. It's the only thing that exists is the here and now. And so I feel everything in this moment, and I have to be brought back to it over and over. This is a continuous process and practice of being here. Just be here now. Really reminding myself, even in this moment, as I'm saying these words to you, that I'm here. I'm right here in this moment. I'm feeling it all. And when hard things come up, I know there are a lot of people around me that are struggling right now. And there's no judgment on that. There's just like, can I be with it? Can I sit with what's coming up and ask questions about what it is? Even when there's a lot of joy, can I just be with that and enjoy that instead of doing and having to find a way to fix it? Can I just be present with what it is? So when she says feel, feed, talk, educate, it's like really feel it. We cannot skip that part. We have to feel it, and then we feed it. So I'm feeding this to you right now, this information that is coming in, and then you can feed it to others, whether it's by you going out into the world and just being also, like you just being, you embodying this feel good always energy, you embodying this truth of like, we really just came here to be present in this moment. That is feeding it. Or you can do it through words, your own words, as you start talking about presence and being present, and you practice. When you show up to practice in a community, maybe it's yoga, maybe it's going on a hike, maybe it's going on a run, you're really feeding to each other because you're doing it together, sharing this podcast with other people, that we really just feed that to other people but we feed this idea, we keep talking about it. My friends and I that are all connected to this energy, that we're all kind of getting that same message. Just be. You think that you have a plan for the week that involves a list of to-dos, even if those to-dos are things that are, spiritual yoga, these practices that we do to move into higher levels of consciousness, or just to move into more inner peace, if those words are easier. We think we have that, but we can get sent other messages. And I was definitely getting a message to just be. Sometimes you'll get sick or get pain, like just be. We always need to just be. I just need a continuous reminder over and over. We can know these things, but listening to things like this, listening to books, reading books, sitting out in the yard, whatever you need to do to remind yourself, as long as you don't do like I do, which was to make it so that if I read enough books, then that would be the being. The being can be reading books, but also just, going for a walk, laying there, feeling what you're being asked to feel, asking questions, getting quiet enough. And So I can get a lot of downloads. I get downloads that will come in. I see a lot of things ahead of time. So my consciousness is continuously processing, and I could want to write a lot of things or share stuff on here. I mean, I have so much coming in that can be more pushing out more and more, because I know it's helping people. And I have to also come back in and know that I can't do any of this without taking care of myself and really just being less doing, more being, because that pull to do more, wanting to share, can keep pulling us in that direction. It could be, that's my story, but for other people it could be, wanting to help people, wanting to be of service. That we can do all of that, but we have to take care of ourselves first. This sense of urgency that we have to save the world right this minute. We really save the world and save humanity through helping ourselves 1 second at a time. If we could all really help ourselves, we do it together. I'll say that all the time. We do it together, but we really help ourselves first. Because there's, especially in Western culture, especially with women, what I have seen is we can give and give and give, and burn out, because we have the energy, an amazing amount of energy that we are being fed, and that we have to give ourselves permission to feel, and to be, and to take care of ourselves, but not out of a place of doing, out of a place of listening to what we're supposed to do next. And that's what I've been doing this last few days. Crawling into bed at 5 o'clock at night, and maybe I'm reading. Last night I just fell asleep at 5 p.m. out of nowhere. Well, that shows you that my body needed rest. And it's really shifting from this effort of pushing into just really being an essence, of who we are. And sometimes being is hard because we've been conditioned. When we do things, when we have a checklist, when we have a list of things to do out of like what we've always been told, it makes us feel in control. It makes us feel like we have a sense of identity. I could say, well, Becky Bradley is somebody that can do a lot, and people know that about me. But what if I just was being? What if I wasn't identifying with any of that? So it's like that continuous vacating of identity, of who I think I am. And we can do that. It's really actually very beautiful to just be with yourself and to listen. And that even in spirituality, I've made a checklist. I mean, that is partially what I needed to do to get here. I do need to be conscientious of the things that I do. That's how I end up in this feel good always energy. That's how I can walk through stuff, is that yes, I did have to be to set goals for myself of, yes, I'm going to, really connect with people. I'm going to make sure that I meditate every day. So I did do stuff like that. It's just being mindful and aware of the if are am I doing it out of a need to check a box. At this point, all of the things that I mentioned, I do those automatically. They're part of me. So at first you might want to do those things and have a checklist. It's just being mindful. Am I just setting my 10-minute timer to meditate to get it done? And that's okay. Sometimes that is it. It's just being aware. When Keira died, I really did surrender all doing. I really did. Any checklist, anything. I couldn't get groceries. I didn't go back to work. I didn't really pay my bills. I mean, any of the responsibilities that I had, they were done. And I really just came into the present moment, and I had no choice but to be. And hopefully most people don't have to experience that level of surrender. But it is what puts me in this massive amount of connection with everything and everyone in this feel good always energy. So I'm just using it as an example of when we really surrender and open ourselves up to the present moment of just being with the pain, be with the pain, be with the sadness, be with all of that, um, in awareness, like watching it, not getting stuck in it, but allowing yourself to feel it, instead of feeling and then looking at our phones. We could do that too, where we look and we just feel like, oh, I'm starting to have a feeling, and now I'm looking at my phone, to distract myself. So you just pay attention to these kind of things. I mean, and I think a lot of people are aware that they do this, or you walk around, everyone's staring at their phones, or it could be something else. It could be like, I got to get this thing done, this checklist. And sometimes you can have a long checklist and you need to just lay in bed or go for a walk and feel. Sit by the river and feel, or sit outside, listen to the birds, just feel what is coming up, and not distract. So we stop doing and we really just be with ourselves through the pain, through the joy, really 100% of the time. That is where all the growth happens, and the being. I mean, we came here for this human experience. And so doing can give us a sense of feeling safe and having purpose in our lives. And we can have safety and purpose without doing. So we can do things, but we do them in presence, and we just be, and we remind ourselves, be here now, just be, and just watch yourself. What are you doing to avoid feeling? I am aware when I do this. Am I avoiding feeling? Am I having something coming up and I'm just going to my checklist? Is there something that I might hear if I got still? It's a good question to ask yourself. What if I got still? What if I listened to what my soul, my body, my life is trying to tell me, and that I will survive anything? I think that's part of the peace that I have, is that knowing that I will survive big things by just truly being with myself, and comforting myself, and really giving myself permission to feel. It really did take my daughter dying to fully give myself permission to feel. So for me, being looks like being in nature, meditation. It's when I feel the most connected to everything, is when I'm truly just being. And it doesn't take an effort. Okay. It's not effort. It's nothing that we need to figure out. It is pure, just peace. And we just be. Like, it could be just feeling yourself standing on the ground, doing the dishes, being present with every single moment, stillness, just being in stillness of the mind, really, not letting our minds tell us all kinds of stories, catching ourselves. I mean, I do it all the time. We are human. Our minds can be busy and chatter and tell us all kinds of things. It's just, being aware of it. And when I can be here, I hear my soul. I hear Keira. That's why I was able to hear her so clearly, and to see the signs and connect, that ability to be shown so much that there's a lot more going on here, that we are really in an illusion. For me to wake up in the dream is to just really be, to hear, to see. And when we are being, it's not passive. We are receiving, we are remembering who we are, we're realigning. We're realigning with what we came here to do, because we already know. We all met each other. We agreed, soul agreements, that we would be doing this at this time. And so just this reminder that they're asking me to share with you, that when you're doing, just be aware. It's not about stopping action. Obviously, we have things to do. I'm recording this podcast, but it's acting from alignment, not from distraction. We're not being asked to stop doing. So I want to be clear. We are being asked to stop doing with attachment. So can you just be in your experience without attachment? And I just listen because I stay here in this present moment. I 100% trust my life, that my life will show me without attachment. And that doesn't mean that it always feels good. I want to be clear about that. I just 100% trust that it's happening as it should, and that I will be shown what to do next so that we can walk towards this great awakening together, that I can be that beacon of light because I trust without fear. I understand, believe, and know that only love is real. And I don't feel this big jolt of the things that are happening that are hard like I used to. When things happen, I can watch them, experience them, cry. I cried all day yesterday, you guys. I did. That is just my experience because I got some real human news and cried the day before a lot. But I can be in the moment and also understand that there's something much bigger happening. So we feel things, we feel all of it, we talk about it, and we do all of these things. We feel, we feed, we talk, and then we educate other people. And that is all I'm doing here, is sharing with you. But we can share literally just by taking a hike. And we can lead from being. We can lead from being. And then our being becomes the transmission. That is the doing. The doing is the transmission of just being. And right now I'm being guided to continue to release control, and that this mission, this feel good always energy, it's happening already in this moment. And it's supported by a beautiful group of angels that are helping us. And I continue to say it is done, and we are just being shown, and to just share. We're all helping each other. So we're all giving each other pieces. And I hope you heard a piece that you needed to hear today, and that you trust that what is needed for your mission, your part of this beautiful mission, will come to you while you are being. Just allow your life to surprise you, to show you, okay? Let go of the control. Release the story that effort is what it makes these things work. It really isn't. I'm talking to myself here too. It is merely being. Trust that what is needed will be provided to you. You will be shown when you are willing to sit and to be, or walk and to be, or to be in your life with presence. So if you start feeling fatigue, overwhelm, burnout, these are things that will be indicators that maybe you are doing more doing than being. Even when we're doing from a space of I'm helping people, but are you helping people to run from your own feelings? That's all I'm saying. Are you helping people to run from your own being, your own experience here? So overwhelm and fatigue, burnout, those are indicators that you need to just be with yourself. Disconnection from joy, be with yourself. Keep seeking, keep listening. When you start obsessing over figuring out what's coming next, timelines, results, trying to figure things out, we have to surrender it all. We can do things without attachment, and really surrendering external validation. That do we need this validation from the outside world to affirm to us that we are everything that we need to be already? We are already enough. We are already enough. I am already enough. I don't need the outside world to tell me I am enough. That doesn't mean that we can't tell each other beautiful things about what we see and experience, but continually reminding yourself that you're enough. I'm going to be here now. And that we just come back into presence. We invite ourselves to be present, and we feel every experience here. We take a lot of deep breaths, and you tell yourself, I am here now. I am here now. I am here now. Get outside and walk without a phone, or be inside in your bed, feeling, whatever you need to do to be all the time, 100% of the time, sitting with yourself with no agenda, with your hand on your heart, journaling, or just listening, listening to the birds outside, taking time to just be with your mere existence, the beauty that we have. Keira always reminds me that I do not need to do more to connect. I just need to listen. And so I hope you can do that too. I hope that you can pause for a minute at a time, multiple times, to just be, and that we remember that presence is the portal to everything. The more that we be, the more clearly we see, okay? The rest, it'll flow from there. So I want to thank you all for listening. I hope that something resonated. I know it did, because you wouldn't be here making it to the end of this. So share this with someone that you think this might help. Listen to it again if you need to. Those are the things that I do. I just keep doing the same things over and over again to remind myself that I need to be here now, without attachment to any of it. I hope you keep coming back to these messages. And if you want to follow the podcast in that podcast app, that helps push it out there. So thank you so much. I love you. Thank you for sharing this journey with me. More to come. Until next time.